When someone asks why you're suffering, you'll most likely give one of these answers. Because I'm going through a hard time. Or because bad things have happened to me. That answer seems reasonable. But according to Dostoevsky, it's the most dangerous lie a person tells themselves. Pain doesn't come to you from the outside, it rises from within. And that distinction will change the way you see everything. Most people experience pain like an accident. Something goes wrong, the pain begins. Something gets better, the pain ends. If you read life that way, you'll find yourself in a permanent victim position, waiting for circumstances to change, for people to change, for your luck to turn. And that state of waiting quietly hollows you out without you ever noticing. In all his great novels, Dostoevsky wanted to show us one thing, again and again. When a person cannot assign meaning to their suffering, they collapse. But when they find meaning, they can remain standing even inside that same suffering. This is not an abstract idea, it is an observation about human beings. At the opening of Crime and Punishment, Raskolnikov commits a murder. But the novel's real question is not, why did this man kill? The real question is, why couldn't this man carry what he had done? Raskolnikov's suffering did not come from the act itself. It came from finding that act meaningless. He had justified himself in his own mind. He had built a theory. Certain people stand above ordinary morality. They are the ones who shape history, and therefore certain actions are permitted to them. But what happened? The voice inside him would not go quiet. And this is where Dostoevsky's sharpest observation cuts through. Conscience cannot be silenced. It can be suppressed. It can be buried, but it cannot be destroyed. Raskolnikov's collapse did not come when he realized his idea was wrong. It came when he felt that his idea could not save him. Most people read that scene as part of a crime novel. But Dostoevsky is holding up a mirror. You've seen that mirror in your own life. You were treated badly in a relationship and tried to convince yourself you deserved it. After a failure, you said, "This was never possible anyway." You hurt someone and silenced your conscience with, "They would have done the same." These stories didn't comfort you. They exhausted you, because pain you haven't given meaning to keeps consuming you. In Dostoevsky's world, the most dangerous type of person is this: someone who always locates the source of their pain outside themselves. And know this, it is not a quality of weak people. If anything, it appears most often in the most intelligent. Because a sharp mind is extraordinarily skilled at projecting any pain outward with a perfectly logical justification. Think of Ivan Karamazov in The Brothers Karamazov. He is perhaps the most razor-edged mind Dostoevsky ever created. He rejects God through intellectual argument. He points to the suffering of children and says, "I refuse to accept this world." And that refusal does not give him strength, it gives him weight. Ivan's tragedy is this: he understands everything, but he can carry nothing. Understanding does not automatically lighten suffering, it only gives suffering a new name. If this feels familiar, here's why. At some point in your life, you felt as though you understood everything, and yet you were still trapped right in the middle of it. Understanding didn't save you, because understanding is not enough. You need the capacity to carry. And this is exactly where Dostoevsky's deepest question surfaces. What is the difference between the person who understands pain and the person who can actually bear it? In The Brothers Karamazov, Alyosha stands at the opposite pole from Ivan. He is not less intelligent, but unlike Ivan, he has learned to give meaning to suffering. He can transform it. Dostoevsky doesn't write Alyosha as a hero, not as someone who performs miracles either, only as someone who can do this one thing. When pain stands in front of him, he doesn't run from it. That small difference changes everything. When most people encounter pain, they do one of two things. They either suppress it, or they surrender to it completely. Those who suppress it appear functional, but grow numb. Those who surrender feel deeply but become lost. Dostoevsky shows a third way: to sit with the pain, neither to drive it away nor to drown inside it, simply to be there, fully present. This overlaps with what modern psychology today calls emotional regulation. But Dostoevsky was saying it a century earlier, quietly, through a character. Take a moment now. What was the moment in your life that broke you most completely? probably not your greatest loss. The one you couldn't understand. The moment you couldn't find meaning. When you can't find an answer to why, you don't just feel sorrow, you shatter. Because the mind cannot tolerate a void. And to fill that void, it starts telling itself stories, usually the wrong ones. Dostoevsky wrestled with this question his entire life. He lost his father in childhood. As a young man, he was sent to exile, sentenced to death, pardoned at the last moment. Epilepsy, debt, poverty, loss after loss. And none of it broke him. It transformed him, because he didn't look at his suffering and say, "This destroyed me." He said, "This showed me something." That is Dostoevsky's true legacy. Pain does not have to define you, but the way you carry it most certainly will. The unnamed narrator of Notes from Underground is perhaps the most unsettling character in all of literature. He analyzes himself endlessly. He examines every behavior, names every feeling, and that awareness does not set him free. It builds a prison around him, because the distance between awareness and transformation is far greater than most people imagine. You understand, you see, you name it, and still you stand in the same place. Does that feel familiar? Dostoevsky is telling us something very difficult here. Knowing yourself is not enough. You have to face yourself, and facing yourself is something entirely different from analyzing yourself. Analysis creates distance. Confrontation removes it. Pain has a function. It comes to separate you from something, from an old belief, from an identity you need to leave behind, from a habit that has been making you smaller. But most people never see that function. They experience pain as an ending, not a passage. All of Dostoevsky's great characters stand at exactly that point of passage. Raskolnikov's confession, Alyosha's silence, Prince Mishkin's compassion. All of them point toward the same door. The door that pain must pass through, not by running, not by understanding alone, by feeling. In The Brothers Karamazov, Dostoevsky wrote, "To love someone means to love a concrete, real person, not an imaginary one." The same is true of pain. I'm not asking you to love your suffering, but I am asking you to see it as real, not as an abstract concept, as a genuine part of your life. Because only then can you see where it is taking you. All of Dostoevsky's novels whisper the same truth. The person who denies their pain also denies their own depth. And you are far deeper than you think.